The modern world is weak. People have been enslaved by the screens. They work far too much while they're being taxed into oblivion. If you try to live a life as a free and independent man or woman, you will most likely be called toxic or difficult at least. And you're not supposed to complain. And if you feel a little bit bad about your situation, well, guess what? There's a pill for that. But it was not always like this. During the Viking Age, life was hard, but in many ways it was more honest. And people were probably not afraid of accepting that life can be a struggle. Life isn't even meant to be easy. And we must accept that in order for us to be happy. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Bjorn, and I'm a historical novelist. And I like to talk about the Viking Age. And I thought, let's use the wisdom of the Vikings, if you will, to better understand and deal with these modern times that we are living in right now. And guess who's back? My kettle. Some of you have asked about the kettle. Where's the kettle? Are we not going to have some campfire coffee? Well, we are not going to have coffee because I don't drink coffee anymore, but the kettle is here and we'll have something to drink. I want to introduce you to a Viking Age concept called Drengskapr. So what is that? Well, basically it's how to be a man, how to be a real man. But it has nothing to do with this fake alpha male stuff that we see on social media these days. We're talking about values like honor, courage, magnanimity, integrity. Å falla med drengskapr is an expression, and it means to die in battle, to die an honorable death, usually dying at the battlefield, sword in hand, you know. And it's a stark contrast to the modern idea of being popular, being getting likes on social media, being someone that is, you know, looks tough, has big muscles and all of that. Because that's not being a man. When I see that kind of behavior, what I see is someone who never grew up. They're not men, they're just boys. It's very superficial. And it's easily forgotten. These people, and you know which people I'm talking about, they're easily forgotten. Again, a stark contrast to the Viking Age and to Drengskapr, where your reputation meant everything. I want to ask you a question. What are the two things that are left when you've died? Maybe it's a legacy, which is nice if you can leave that to your children. But apart from that, what's left? There are two things left. Your bloodline, hopefully if you have children, you know, your bloodline will then continue, which was extremely important to the Vikings. And I believe it should be important to us as well. But there is one more thing. Your reputation. Your reputation is left. And that was immensely important to my ancestors. To be remembered as an honorable good person, a brave person, someone who accepted the struggles that life threw at him or her and kept fighting. Skål. Now, the people in power, they don't want you to be strong. What they want is for you to be addicted and dependent on the system. The screens, the pills and potions, and the social media fear-mongering. They want you to be completely immersed into all of that. They want you to forget about your strong and deep connection to nature. They don't want men to be real men. They don't want women to be real women. They want to have everyone become sort of a neutral slave caste. And in order for you to stay in your box, in order for you to stay in place as a good, obedient servant to the system, they use fear and they use division. Fear in the news every day. Another war started in the Middle East. Oh, there's another pandemic, maybe. And you know what? It's very dangerous to be alive. It might end with you dying, actually. Yes, it's all over the news. And they use division between groups to keep people from fighting what they really should fight, which is the very system that we have been placed in, you know. And I know it sounds like I become a conspiracy theorist or something like that, but there is nothing new about this. The people in power are using the very same tools as they've always used. And I believe that we are moving towards feudalism 2.0, or neo-feudalism. I talked about that before. And that's not a good thing. I have also talked about the importance of ownership here on this channel. And by the way, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. That would be wonderful. I think we all know that this message here is not popular. Excuse me, it's not popular. And it maybe it will be suppressed. I have seen that happening before. So please subscribe and leave a comment. It would be awesome if you could do that. Speaking of fighting the system, I have a sponsor, the very best sponsor I could think of for this video, which is folkrealms.com. It's an online community. It's for anyone interested in our pagan roots, mythology, and things like that. And I'm there, so come and join me there. It's a place where you will not find any bullying, no racism, no people trying to hijack our European pagan roots for political purposes. And also, you will find no AI there. So, you know, it's awesome. I enjoy every second on folkrealms.com. So yeah, thank you to Folk Realms for sponsoring this video. Now let me introduce you to, let's call it the Viking antidote. How do we fight these forces that aim to take away our freedoms? It's quite simple, actually. We must accept the fight. We must accept that life can be a struggle at times. We must accept fear as part of life, and we must move forward in spite of that fear. We must welcome the fight. We must see it as a challenge. And also, maybe the most important thing that we must do, we must let these people know that we will not be controlled. They will not be allowed to take away our freedoms. Of course, we should not fight alone. We need a tribe. That tribe can be your friends, your family. It can be this community here. So, voice your opinion and in the comment section, reach out to people here. That's what I'm trying to do with this channel, to, bring people together and build this community, build this tribe. If we manage to put our differences aside, because there are differences, there will always be differences. If we manage to put those differences aside and come together as a tribe, we will be strong. We will be so strong that the people in power, they will not be able to control or decide anything about our lives. And you know what? I want to introduce another concept, another word, another expression here today. Soy. Now, my apologies to the vegans out there. I think soy is a good word to use for things in modern society that we don't need. Things that are not really good for us. Things that make us weak. The soy of modern culture, not only in the food that they want us to eat, because of course they don't want you to eat meat, which is good and healthy for human beings. No, they want you to eat basically what peasants during the medieval age had to eat, because meat was reserved for nobility very often. So yeah, they want us to go back to that. Isn't that wonderful? The soy of modern culture. Stay away from that. Stay away from the rage bait on social media. Stay away from easy solutions, pills and potions to make you look a certain way and feel a certain way. Stay away from that because it makes you weak. Stay away from AI. It's the same thing. It's soy. It removes you from the process. That process you have to go through to reach your goal, to get to your destination. And it is that process that makes you strong. Without that, if they remove that, when they remove that, you will become weak, because you don't get to go through that struggle. And I'm sure you get what I'm saying here. This is something that I think you have been thinking as well. Sometimes I see people writing in the comments that you're not a Viking. There are no Vikings anymore. Especially in the videos where I have my Viking clothes on. It is true that we can't go back in time, but we can. I think we should embrace that Viking spirit. I think we need to, because we are heading towards difficult times. We are seeing our freedoms being stripped away. I will not bend the knee. I would rather live a very uncomfortable, inconvenient life than just going along with whatever the powers that be decides for you. I will not let them decide how I live my life, and neither should you. And now I want to ask you, is there something that you can do that might make your life a little bit more inconvenient, but that will add freedom and independence to your life? Is there something you can do? If so, please look into that. Please consider doing that thing. But I must warn you, when you start that journey towards independence and freedom, it is addictive. But that's a good kind of addiction. That's a good and healthy kind of addiction. So yes, I want to thank you for spending some time with me out here in my local woods. I hope to see you in the next video. And until then, stay strong and skål.